This is an example of a company which I really admire. That company is called Larsen and Toubro. If you go to the Larsen and Toubro Museum, if you go to the Larsen and Toubro Museum in the Manapakkam campus in Madras, there is this Henning Hock Larsen Center, which is Larsen, one of the co-founders. By the way, they were Danish engineer entrepreneurs who came to India around just on the eve of the Second World War on some assignment for their parent company in Denmark. And then because of the Second World War, they couldn't go back. They stayed back here thinking that India is now going to become independent, they'll have a lot of opportunities to work, and they started Larsen and Toubro with support from one Gujarati entrepreneur in Mumbai. The interesting part is that neither Larsen nor Toubro kept any big personal share in the company. They decided that this will be truly professionally run organization. Even today, Larsen and Toubro remains a totally publicly owned and professionally run organization. So if you go to the Henning Hock Larsen Center in Chennai, you will see on the walls as to what kind of contribution an Indian company, and I call it Indian company though it has Danish founders because they were very much Indian at heart in all that they did, how much a company can accomplish in 6 decades. Every single monument that you may think of, whether it's in Delhi, whether it is in Mumbai, whether it is in Chennai, whether it is in Bangalore, religious monuments, sports stadiums, IT parks, car manufacturing units, fertilizer companies, thermal power plants, highways, high-rises, Mars mission, Statue of Unity, every single major project they have been involved in. Interestingly, when Mr. Nayak took over as chairman, they had a dismal market cap because the company was focusing on work, not on marketing and market cap development. But that was for almost 50 years they were like that. From that market cap of 5,000 crores in 15 years, they have increased to a 1 lakh crore market cap. And today it is very well known for its market cap, and it was always very well known for its activities and its projects. So one project that I would like to share, which is called the 77-Day Wonder Project. So on the 7th of November 1999, the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Chandrababu Naidu, called up the then Deputy Managing Director of Larsen and Toubro, Dr. A. Ramakrishna. He's no more, he passed away a couple of years ago. The Government of India conferred on him a Padma Bhushan posthumously. He said that there is only water available in Tirumala, upstairs, up the hill shrine of Lord Venkateshwara, for 60 days. We want a water supply project to be done by Larsen and Toubro so that water reaches up 1 kilometer altitude in 60 days. Nobody else can do it. Only Larsen and Toubro can do it. Please send your people tomorrow. It was the eve of Diwali. And see how Indian companies operate and they deliver. And this is a very interesting story which I am personally very enamored by. So how the scheme of events unfolded. So Mr. Dr. Ramakrishna called up Mr. Hariharan, who was the Senior Vice President of Utilities and Industrial Projects. And he said, see, the Chief Minister has called, why don't you go to Hyderabad tomorrow and make a presentation to him? So Hariharan said, I don't even know the facts of the case. What presentation will I make? He said, no, he wants you to come and talk. He wants us to do this. You please go there and talk. So he got a couple of other of his colleagues, one Mr. Jagannathan and one more person. They all went to Hyderabad to meet the Chief Secretary. The Chief Secretary said, see, you have to meet the Chief Minister tomorrow. Why don't you prepare a cost sheet and the estimated expenses for this? He said, sir, I don't even know the technical specifications of the project. How do I make a cost sheet? He said, no, you make assumptions and then you put together a cost sheet and suggest how this project can be executed. Next day, they attempted 24 hours, they worked hard, they went there, they explained the project. Mr. Chandrababu Naidu was very happy. And then he said, we want this project to be done in 60 days. So he said, sir, it is impossible. This project will take 2 years to do. The kind of raw materials it requires and the kind of rigor that is involved, the planning itself will need a quarter. He said, nothing doing, we need in 60 days, otherwise there will be serious calamity on the top. And you know, in the Tirumala shrine, there is 1 lakh visitors every day. During Brahmotsavam, which is special festivals, it's 5 lakhs. Daily visits. So the amount of water required is that large and massive. So he said, okay sir, we will try for 90 days. There was a lot of back and forth, and they said 90 days we will try. And Hariharan's heart was already pounding. I have assured the Chief Minister. The Chief Minister has not even taken the Legislative Assembly into confidence. Tomorrow there will be headlines that Larsen and Toubro and the Chief Minister have colluded, and there will be a big hue and cry. So it was more of a moral pressure on the brand of Larsen and Toubro as it was for completing the project for a government. So they embarked on the project. By 30th of November, the plans were ready. And then execution started. Now first they needed 650 kilowatt pumps. Now to make such pumps and deliver them itself, it takes 6 months. So Hariharan called up Kirloskar and said, we want these many water pumps. So how much can you give? How fast can you give me? So that supplier, now you see how business, different stakeholders come into play. So that supplier said, Sab 6 months lagenge. So Hariharan said, I'm talking about 6 days. You're talking about 6 months. So that man said, sir, 6 months se jaldi ho hi nahi sakta. So then Hariharan said, Are ye Tirupati ke liye hai. Kuch to socho. So then that man said, nahi sir, fir bhi 4 mahina to lagega. So you see how bargaining starts in terms of delivering pumps. Finally, after all the bargaining, Hariharan said, all the time as suppliers, you all keep telling us that whatever you want, we will give. The suppliers have so much of love for Larsen and Toubro because we've always stood by you. Won't you help us in such a difficult time? So he said, yes, no. After all the bargaining, they said, okay, we will give you the pumps in 45 days. Point 1 over. Next point. They needed huge steel plates. 450 tons of steel plates. So now they called another supplier. He said, I want these steel plates. What is the delivery time? He said, sir, we don't even make these steel plates. So Hariharan got very upset. He said, don't tell me what kind of steel plates you make. I have only built your plant from Larsen and Toubro, so I know all the specifications. You tell me when you can make these for me. So then that man said, sir, we can make this size, that size, all of those technical things went on, and finally he said, I will send the people with laser cutting equipment. You make whatever you can make, we will get the size done through you. I know you will make loss, but this is for Tirupati. And if you do this, so many of your sins will get washed. This is Hariharan is telling the supplier. And there were peals of laughter on the other side because they knew how he was talking to them, because that's the Indian way of talking. And that's the way of getting work done, because they know it's a common cause, it's a public welfare cause, it's a religious cause, and it's a commercial cause. They're not going to do it free, but they're also doing it for a purpose. Then similarly, something happened for steel. They needed 450 tons of steel. And this book, this is a whole series of interviews that I've studied, from which I've put together. And of course, I had a long conversation with the late Dr. Ramakrishna. They got 450 tons of steel at a short notice. JSL Holdings got it delivered from Chennai to Tirupati in 1 week, when it would take at least 2 months to deliver that. Before that, he called one of his confidant laborers. His name was Abu. He called him from Kerala. He was a Muslim. And he said, Abu, you come with 150 people to Tirupati in the next 3 days. Go to Kerala, get 150 construction workers and come to Tirupati. He went to Kerala, got 150 workers, got a few thousand mobilized at different places, and finally 2,000 to 3,000 workers appeared on Tirupati Hills to complete this project. The pumps came in, the steel plates came in, the steel came in. Now how do you take this up the hill? Because they are not going to have those kind of huge equipment available at such a short notice. So they said that they will do that with the tall trees that existed on the Tirumala mountains and form a human chain to take it up the hill. And then Dr. Ramakrishna himself came and walked that entire pathway and interacted with the laborers and told them what a great job they are doing. After that, an interesting aspect emerged. All these 2,000 laborers, majority of them were Muslim, on a Hindu shrine. But because they were working on a Hindu shrine, they all vowed that for that entire period of 60 days, they will not have non-veg, they will not have alcohol, they will not smoke. That was a voluntary decision they took to commit themselves to a cause which was for social welfare. On the 77th day, Mr. Jagannathan called up Mr. Hariharan. And Hariharan said, so how is the pressure? So he said, which pressure, sir? The water pressure or my blood pressure? So he said, no, the water pressure. So then Jagannathan told Hariharan from the side, he said, sir, water has reached Tirumala. This is the 77-day wonder. So this is the way Indian companies have risen to emergency situations in their own unique way to deliver. Was the water supply project of poor quality? No. Was it not done in time? It was done 12 days before they promised the Chief Minister. Was it achieving the objective that all those lakhs of people on top who come for pilgrimage every day will get water, quality water, continuous water? All of these requirements were fulfilled. So much so that Mr. Vajpayee came to Tirupati to inaugurate the project and appreciated the commitment of an Indian company to deliver such stringent timelines for social welfare projects. Again, same objective, customer centricity. But how was it possible? Because they had extraordinary relationships with their laborers, with their employees, with their supply chain partners, with their local communities, not just around the project time. For decades together, they had handheld them and brought them to a stage and stature where they were equal partners, almost family members, that they could be threatened, cajoled, and even almost fleeced in the name of a social welfare project to do a good job and deliver on time. So there is so much that can be learned about how we can execute tasks, keeping the well-being of your fellow stakeholder in mind to achieve the targets.